Welcome back to another Fireside Chat. It's been a minute since I haven't been here, but it is our 50th episode. Usually we have like a little plan on what to talk about. We did came back from the convention, so maybe we'll talk about that. We don't know for sure. We did go with another person, but he's not here today, so we're thinking about either talk about that or other stuff. But yes, we are joined by Mr. Andrew, Andrew Vakauskas, creator, the only lovely person. And I am Ken. I am the sales guy that goes to convention as well as some social media. But Andrew's been doing a lot more of the social media recently, to be honest with you guys. He's been doing the TikTok, the Twitter. He's been on point. Hopefully he continues that. I don't know if have you been continuing it while you were home?
I have been TikToking. Well, I actually recorded a whole bunch of TikToks ahead of time because I've been fighting the con crud after Calgary.
Okay.
Actually, my son had like virulent flu that I've been fighting. So luckily, I had some stuff pre-recorded, and I was like fighting my way through the user interface on TikTok, trying to get the little video up and running.
Mm-hmm.
But
you got like the flight back and stuff like that.
Yep. And cool. Big shout out to Rick, who got me onto the TikToks. So yeah, I've been. You'll be proud. I've been doing my own little thing on the Viking stories. I've got a whole bunch of them planned from this little book that's right below me here, Creatures from Fairy Tale and Myth.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing little stories about each one of these little denizens. Little story time for the wanderers that come by and visit.
Wait, how many have you filmed already? The creatures one.
Filmed 4 of them, so I just need to put them live. I need to basically stitch them together because I take little snippets. Then I stitch them together because there's all kinds of little noise happening. How
long do you make those videos?
I make them maybe about 2 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
So they can't be as short as the other ones. The other ones, I did a little diviner one. So I have the little rune dice that I ended up backing this Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was like so interesting, but then when I saw these 24-sided D24 rune dice, I was like,
cool.
I'm in it for the extras. So I backed the Kickstarter at like $1 and threw in like a ton of money for a bunch of these D24 dice.
Yeah, you can use it with the diviner. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I rolled the dice to do a little divining, and on one of the TikToks, and the next one, I pulled out the diviner book, and I said, okay, I'm going to use example 1 on how to use divining process. Look at the first 3 runes and do a little bit of a reading. And it was really weird because it had to do with like new beginnings and tying up loose ends, and it was the end of month, and I was just like pulling out my non-existent hair, trying to get all of my Patreon stuff done while I was fighting the flu. I've got like 6 Patreon updates and my Kickstarter update. I'm like, man, this was really fitting set of like divination rules that I pulled that had to do with, at my end of month, start of the new month. So,
That's good.
Don't lie.
That's cool. I would have loved to see Paul with the bag of runes, but I think that could be in a future video, which is nice. It's good to see you doing content on TikTok. I think it did pretty well for us, especially when we're in Calgary. A lot of people are like, yeah, we saw your TikTok, so we came by. And we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So
I never thought I'd hear the day.
So we could talk about Calgary. We kind of do like a quick rundown and do more in depth next time with Ray. So for us, we're from Montreal. We decided to go to Calgary Expo or Comic-Con. Some of them call it Comic-Con. Yeah, we actually drove to Toronto first to meet up with Andrew's cousin Ray, or Raymond. And then shout out to him. Let's stay at his place. We had some herring. I love that. I love that pickled herring. That's a story for another time. But we didn't go to the convention. It was my first time in Calgary, so I had a good time in Calgary. However, we did have some lessons that we learned from going to that convention, which is unfortunate, but it was still a good time. We sold out, but the cost to the show was quite expensive. But you had a reason why you wanted to go to Calgary, right? Because that was the same weekend as Boston, PAX East, right?
Yeah, so Boston PAX East falls on the same weekend as Calgary Expo several years in a row, but not every year. So there was, in 2018, I think we did both shows. So Calgary Expo, we went out last time, and the place was packed. I mean, it was the fire marshal actually had to close down the show because it was, for those of you who tune in, it was Gen Con Saturday packed. Like Calgary Expo was like standing room only sardines in there. fire marshal basically said like, stop letting people into the buildings. Like it was that full. And this year, I mean, you can attest to this. It was kind
Yeah,
of like farce. We're looking around, going like,
yeah,
oh boy, this is going to be a lean year.
yeah.
But I think the people that did show up were really, really like eager
Big
to.
supporters,
Yeah,
exactly.
they were eager beavers in Canada.
Yeah, yeah. We did learn a lot that it wasn't very much a RPG convention, much more of a comics aesthetic. People love the aesthetic in that, so they see the aesthetic, they're like, "Wow, that's cool." They want to learn about lore and stuff like. So our Eddas and our Celtic Cyclopedia, those sold like hotcakes.
Vanguard
The role
too,
play,
day one.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, any of the cool art ones and stuff. Role playing, not so much, but like we said, that's probably for another time to talk about. But that's what we learned for this convention, is that next time we just bring a whole bunch of our non RPG games and just a few. But we still made some cool connections there. Very nice city. You enjoyed your hike,
Well, we
so that
ended
was
up
pretty.
meeting some really cool booth mates.
Yeah,
Like, so we had really good
hmm
mates on either side.
and
Shout
in
out to
front.
them and in
Yeah,
front, right?
yeah.
So I mean, like
hmm
on all sides for the first time, we had like
I'm trying to
really,
remember
really
if you remember.
cool.
So one of them, our left was Yellow Jacket Sports Collectible or something like that.
Yep.
Collectibles. To our right, it was just a guy from his home who was just selling extras. And then from across, do you remember what's the name of the store?
We got all these magic cards,
Oh yeah, you
except
got so
from
much magic
next
cards.
door, right?
I just
They're
remember
all
the name
sitting on
of.
my booth.
Yeah, I don't. I never got the name of the store from the guys across from us. I don't know if you would remember. I feel like you're even worse than me when it comes to names. But it was
Oh,
Michael and his wife.
got
So
their business card.
yeah, Michael and Jody, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
You guys are watching this. We shout out to you guys. You guys are great.
have been more prepared.
Yeah, they they are from Edmonton. So
I'm
if
on my desk here.
yeah,
Right.
I had it too. I just don't remember. It is a game store in Edmonton. Very nice guys. I think the best part about that their store is that they had like game rooms, and those game
Yes.
rooms were like absolutely fantastic. So that'd be really cool. And then we also made connection with a Sentry Box. So
Century
Sentry Box in
Box.
Calgary.
Holy cow! So this,
hmm
if anyone goes to Calgary, check out the store. This place was talked up to me as like the penultimate
hmm
um, hobby store because it's so big. They've been around for 40 plus years. The place has grown for 40 years. It's multi-level, multi-building, and it didn't even prepare me for what I saw when I walked in. I was like, okay, it's going to be a big store. Oh, it's got everything. Okay, everything. Got like every board game, every RPG. But no, like as soon as I walked in, they had like retro consoles on the right,
Yeah.
like old Game Boys and uh, Nintendo 64s and whatnot.
hmm
And then you go down the stairs, and it's got the RPGs and it's got the board games, but it's got a whole novel section, got a ward gaming section. It's got miniatures, dice, runes, the works, like
hmm
everything. And then they've expanded so much that they've bought the building next door to expand all their cards. So
Yeah.
like, do yourself a favor and spend like a day. We had to spend 5 minutes
Yeah, we didn't have
max.
much. Like the first day, we had like because we had to go back to the convention, so we had like 45 minutes, maybe
Yeah.
an hour. You max. You barely stayed at the card store. I went to the card store first, and then you went to the role playing game, and then we visited a bit. But then we came back on one more time. But it would have been great. I didn't even notice on the first time all the vintage consoles there, right? Like I looked back after, it's like, wow, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, original Nintendo. I was like, oh my goodness, it was actually fantastic to see. So very, very nice store. I wish we got to go visit more stores while we were there just to
Yep.
kind of see the scene. However, the convention was a little bit busy, and then the day that we wanted to go to visit some stores, a lot of them were closed on I think Sundays or on Mondays. So it was kind of tough to visit that, but still, it was fun. And then you got to go to the Rockies. I unfortunately did not have the chance to do that.
That was the best part, man. Oh man, I'm still on cloud nine from that hike. I was sore for days. That was 8,500 foot. Oh man, the views. That was just worth the extra day of that hike. Oh man, the photos. I'm gonna have
hmm
to post those. I don't think I even got around to posting photos on social media.
Not yet.
I'm gonna toss those up tonight on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the views were like you could see down onto Canmore. So it's like there's a valley of two sets of like Rocky Mountains, the town of Canmore, right
hmm
down in the middle, and we did Grotto Peak, and that was like an all day hike. Basically, what time did I leave? 9 a.m. or
Like,
something.
yeah, I think you left at like 8:30 or something like that. You woke up at 7, and he picked you up at like 8:30, and you went to go pick up your stuff. But yeah, around 8:30 or so, that's when you left. You got there probably around 10, and you were back by like 6 o'clock. So,
Yeah.
and it is like an hour drive and stuff. I would love to go for not the hike itself, because I would have died if I did the hike with you. My body is not. I don't think I'm capable of that. But Banff, I want to go back to Banff. It was just so beautiful. Had I not had a meeting that day, we could have probably went to Banff, and I would have been ecstatic for that. But again, we'll elaborate more,
Yeah,
because
the
a lot of fun
views in that
stories
part
too.
of the world, man. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
highly recommend anyone watching our stream here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Calgary Expo is a really nice gaming expo. If you're into art, they have like you know how have an artist alley. They have an artist building. So they
Mm-hmm.
dedicate an entire building for artists. So you get to see a lot of like comic book artists show. And then if you're into hiking, if you're into nature, like an hour drive west, an hour and a half drive west, you've got Banff, you've got Moraine, uh, tons of great sites. So
Yep.
beautiful, beautiful.
You know what shocked me the most about Calgary? The food. I did not expect the food to be so good. Even just like straight off the bat, the first night, the meal we had, Gate of India, was one of the best, if not the best, Indian food I've had in North America. At least Canada, I would like to say. The butter chicken was fantastic, in my opinion. And their naan bread, they're very generous. So, and yeah, I mean, I think our friend Ray, he's not here right now, but discovered ramen. And we had ramen for 3 nights in a row. So,
I
well,
will
ramen, we had Japanese
qualify
food.
the Gate of India first of all. Like, I've
Mm-hmm.
had Indian, not in India. Wish
They
I've
did,
had it
yeah.
in the UK, and the UK Indian out of this
Mm-hmm.
really really good. Best Indian restaurant I ever had was Highlands of delicious, and this was on par. Like, really really good. Highly recommend. And
They were voted best Indian food 2022, I think it was, or 2021, by their local channel or something like that. So that's kind of cool. Their butter chicken was so good. I loved it.
the
And you love, what did
vindaloo,
you get?
the
What did you
vindaloo,
order?
the lamb
Vindaloo.
vindaloo. Yeah, like from the first bite, it was immediate. Like from the first bite, I was like, "Holy
Mm-hmm.
cow, this is something else, another level." And for those that travel with me on the, you guys know that I Yelp, just so I can remember, like on the convention circuit, year to year, where the good restaurants are in the different cities.
Mm-hmm.
So this one definitely was instant, like 5 star.
Yeah, I think this was like one of the best place I've had for like Asian foods, and like I've been to like LA, I've been to San Francisco, and I've had ramen there, but the ramen place we had, that was probably blew my mind, especially for the price that we paid. It was like $15 for the meal.
How about the other
For the meal, I
place?
mean,
ten
for
bucks.
$10, but that was smaller. It was good, but not amazing. But for $10, you can't really complain,
Yeah.
because it was an izakaya place. A lot like the $5 appetizers they were doing for Thursday nights. Oh my goodness, that was a fantastic deal. We had like a kimchi sashimi salad. There was like all these taco. Oh, it was good. It was a great time food wise. Genuinely enjoyed it. Which I was shocked at first, because like, how can the Calgary have a good food scene? But I realized like it's fairly close to BC, right? BC's got some good Asian food, so totally see people.
But
Rick,
but that was a really nice surprise. Hey, Rick's in the house.
what up, Rich? How you doing, buddy? But yeah, I definitely had a good time. When is can Rich come to Canadian conventions yet? Does he have his passport? I don't
I
remember if
know
we.
he's got his double vaxxed across the border and all the
You don't have to double vax anymore to go across. They changed it recently.
prove something.
Yeah, maybe one vax. House finally had a little meltdown tonight. It's wait, I could voice. Ah, yeah, we can get rich. We can get rich in here. We're not really doing any theme whatsoever.
Get his voice, but no video. What's going on with no video? Shirt on, you animal.
He said his house is on meltdown. We
Oh,
can talk about. You guys do the Gary Con already? The Gary Con
yeah, we did the Gary
recap.
Con one, but what's coming up is Origins. That's in a month,
But
and
did you guys do the recap video yet?
yeah,
Stream
we
recap
did.
stream.
Yeah, we did do the stream. Ah, there he is. There's
There
a
you
man.
go. How's it going? Hello. Hello.
Hello. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
How you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. There was just a little like crisis with the children tonight, and it was thankfully avoided. It didn't end up being as bad as it could have been.
Okay, that's good.
You know, it's the details I don't want to share, but nothing bad. Just kind of
Just kids, right?
yeah, kids overreacting and
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of panic, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to go do the thing that I was gonna do tonight, so I had to rush home to help with that, and it kind of turned out to be nothing. But when kids are doing a thing, you gotta respond.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
You're back home doing damage control.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Cool. So no video for you.
I am not currently Twitch appropriate.
All right. No
He said
worries. No
he's
worries,
naked,
man.
basically.
And yeah, my because it's my laptop, my Chromebook that has the video, and I actually think that's outside in the car, so it's
It's
just
all
like,
good, my man. It's good
it's
to
a
hear
bunch
from
of
you.
little hiccups. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we haven't done our fireside chat in like 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
we wanted to get back on tonight and just chat, catch up, and give the fans a little bit of a rundown of what's been going on.
That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were
So
actually.
I little shout out to a group that I played with Sunday.
Yeah.
So with some guys we met at GaryCon. A little bit of the backstory: we're sitting there at GaryCon, and we have the credit processor. We got to type it into our phones and
Mm-hmm.
get the zip code for verification as a security measure. And the guy tells me a zip code, and it sounded very, very familiar to me. So I asked the guy. I said, "Hey, where do you live?" And he told me. He's like, it's a little town outside of a city in Michigan. And I was like, "Oh, try me." Told me the name of it, and I was like, "Oh, like on the corner of such and such, there's this store and that store." And he looked at me, he's like, "You've heard of the city I live in?" I was like, "Actually, I used to live there."
That's
Of all
funny.
things, like yeah, it was one of the places that I used to live way
How
back
far
in the
is it
day.
from? How far is it from where you live right now?
But so it took me an hour 10
Ooh.
to get from my driveway to his driveway, and I stopped for coffee on the way. So I could probably do it in like an hour 5.
That's not bad.
A little bit, I could probably go less if I wanted to be a bit less law abiding, but I tend to
Yeah.
do pretty close to the speed limit anywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
Of the laws I'm going to break, that's for some reason that's one I'm not really big into.
What do you mean? We don't break any laws.
Sure, we don't.
Never
And then
jaywalk.
yeah, no, so no, it was cool. And so like we were talking, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he bought some of the product at GaryCon, and then he ended up buying some PDFs afterwards, and he's been a little active here in the Fate of the Norns Discord. For those of you that aren't on it,
Mm-hmm.
Fate of the Norns, the whole Pendlehaven has a whole Discord channel where you can come get your game questions answered. He started being on there in the forums a little bit. He's been reaching out to me, asking me some questions, and he's definitely asked some questions that I didn't have answers to. I bounced a couple questions that I had to Andrew that I couldn't find good answers for, and we went out there, we played, and everybody for the most part seemed to get it up because for the most part it's a pretty interesting system,
Mm-hmm.
pretty easy to pick up. It's when you're talking to new people, and this is good for people who maybe are new to the tribe, as it were. When you're pitching the game to people, to your friends, to your local play group, you have to understand that it's different. It is not what they're doing already. Whatever game they're playing where they're picking up dice and checking for a difficulty class or anything like that, or they have a target number or any of these things, right? Which is most dice games. We're not doing that, right? And it's just kind of a strange concept to wrap your head around until you've done it. And yeah, by the time we got a couple rounds into combat, same thing I've always seen. Once you go around the table a couple times, people just kind of, for the most part, get it. And then suddenly they're just playing, and they're like, "Oh, that was actually easier than I thought it was going to be." Because they have all these questions, and it's like, can we just do round one? Quit asking questions. Let's just get through round one. We'll explain it as we go. But
Let me
yeah, no, it
learn
was
by
great.
playing.
Yeah. But no, they were good guys. They have a guy like me who's kind of big into rules, big into wanting to know how every rule works before we ever experience the system. So obviously he gave me a little bit more questions than you typically get at an introductory table. But again, I'm that guy at the table. I'm always the guy who's going to be the rules lawyer for the games that I'm going to really play, and so I don't mind it. and it was fun. But yeah, we had a good time. Austin was there too. He came out with this. He ended up having to leave like a hour before the end of the game because he had a concert that he had bought tickets for like a couple months ago. So
So
yeah, it was
how
good
long
times.
was the game? How long did you guys play?
So we all got there at about 10 o'clock a.m. and we didn't really start playing until about 11, and then Austin left. I want to say like 3-ish, maybe just before. So Austin was there for about 4 hours. We played for another hour and change because
Long
it was
long game session.
yeah. So it was like 4 something by the time we were done, and then we were just kind of like, well, we could either continue the game or not. The game master was actually he's like, I have a hard cap of 6 o'clock. We have to be done by 6. Uh, he's like, I don't care what we're doing. At 6 o'clock, the alarm goes off. We're done gaming. There's no questions. We're all leaving, getting out of here. He actually had to catch a flight to Europe. I think he was going to like Germany or something. And his flight was later that evening. So, so kudos to him for you know running a game the day before he's going out of town.
So he was the guy
Unfortunately, it was
I
very
met at the
hardcore.
show, right?
But yeah, him and his dad played.
Okay.
He was kind of that like celebrity kind of a game that you ran Sunday morning.
Okay, nice.
Um, yeah. We also invaded we pillaged their hotel room that one evening on the way back to our room.
Nice.
So yeah, they were good guys. They were gracious hosts. They were wonderful people. The setup in the game room is pretty interesting. The way they got it laid out and stuff. So it was a good times. Um, you know,
I heard it was ambitious though, like a lot of players that day, right? For the first session, that seems
So yeah, so originally I think he had scheduled like 8+1.
Damn.
Um,
Damn.
yeah, we ended up having 6+1,
That's not bad.
which was fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really seem to slow anything down because most of the people there they've been playing together for a long time, so they've kind of hive-minded a little bit. If you got brand new, brand new groups tend to have different questions.
Mhm.
People that have been playing together a long time tend to have kind of the same questions. In my experience, your methods may vary. Um, yeah, so for the most part, like whenever, like, has anybody got a question about this thing I just explained? And you'd see 2 or 3 hands go up, and I'm like, all right, you. What's your question? He'd ask a question, I'd answer the question, and then the other 2 hands would just kind of cascade down, and I'm like, all right, perfect, let's go. So it wasn't too bad. Even with 6, which again might be a bit high for first chance showing it to your friends, unless you're really experienced with running it. Uh, we didn't really have a lot of those struggles, just because everybody seemed to be pretty, again, pretty on the up about what was going on. So it worked out really well.
Nice.
So yeah, shout out to them. As far as things that are going on, and
Very cool. That's good to hear. So yeah, we've converted a lot of Vikings at GaryCon, and we converted a lot of Vikings at Calgary too. And there was a
good.
shop that picked up a bunch of stock too to bring over to Edmonton. So we're probably gonna have like a big version as well. So yeah, lots of cities picking up the game, which is good.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the goal, right? That's what you're hoping for in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
We got to go more west. We got to go Vancouver next.
Well, we're gonna go really hard east very soon because I'm gonna have a very big announcement coming up, probably later this week, early next week, for our Ireland trip.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So that's gonna be big. I'm finalizing the details. I was all today registration page and everything for our convention in Ireland, and basically it's going to be a very special set of adventures that are going to be set for that trip and the convention, set in the various castles, hotels.
They're calling it a experience, right? Not a convention, right?
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole experience. So
Yep.
that news is coming down the pipe real soon. So we'll probably end
That's
up
awesome.
talking about it in full detail next week. This is kind of like snippet
The
of
spoiler, the teaser.
the little teaser and spoiler. The patrons on the Patreons are going to get the full details dropped later.
Yeah,
Careful, Andrew. You're starting to do things that are trendy and popular. You might.
You saw him do TikTok, right?
I did. Yeah, I saw some Calgary TikToks coming out. That was good times.
Mm-hmm.
Even after the convention, kept it up. Like what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, I mean, it's a wonderful platform. It's easy to use. It's accessible. It doesn't require a
Isn't
huge
no.
buy-in or anything.
It is
It's a great
easy.
platform.
You have to learn the shortcuts, Andrew. Like
No,
watch
it's
YouTube videos about it.
changing the duration of the little snippets of the video inside the
Yeah.
app is not evident. There are certain things that are.
You're not even supposed to be able to cut. The whole point of it is like one take, and then you just
Yeah.
snip stuff together. Yeah, that's
Well, you
why.
can do jump shots and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I did a video.
Jump cuts and stuff. Yeah.
I did a video the other day that had like 14 jump cuts or something on it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's that takes a lot of time to kind
It
of on the
does.
back end to crop it up and do stuff with it.
I think what you can potentially edit on your computer and then transfer it, but I think it
Yeah,
loses some quality.
no, so you get the same. You actually tend to actually get a higher video quality that way,
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
believe. But TikTok algorithm is down on that.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, so if it's an uploaded, because TikTok knows, right? Nobody else
Mm-hmm.
necessarily knows if you uploaded it or if you,
Mm-hmm.
did it with native software. But TikTok knows, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you upload it, you're doing it through their platform, and they're like, if you're clicking the upload button, that's coming from somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
So I believe I don't want to say that it buries it, right? Because I don't know, I can't confirm that. But I have heard a lot of rumor, just even from other content creators that a couple times they've tried to upload a video, it just doesn't quite get the same
Mm-hmm.
views, even though maybe you have some higher video quality. And I wish we had some like experts here to kind of confirm or deny, but yeah, so it's a trade-off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I've noticed that a little bit. Like when I post a video, it's also kind of weird, but it's hard to just like if you want to do a good quality video, it's hard to just edit it on TikTok. It's a lot easier just to edit on your computer and then transfer it onto TikTok. But alas, it
Exactly.
is what it is.
And it definitely takes some time to get used to, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
the first time you do it, you don't necessarily know where all your buttons and your shortcuts are. You don't know, because I work with Rick, Tabletop
Mm-hmm.
Santa, with over at Thunderforge Studios, and that's what he does, and that's what our studio does. Is we do a lot of TikTok videos for people, and there's been a few times where I've had to go to him and be like, "Hey, here's what I want to accomplish with this video I'm doing." Then after a few minutes, he's like, "Yeah, so you push, click here. That's how you do it." And I'm like, "Oh, it was just sitting right there in front of me the whole time, but there's a lot of buttons going on, right?
Yeah.
It's unfamiliar software." So,
That
but you mentioned you are on TikTok now, right? That's kind of your new social media. Where would somebody find you on there, Andrew?
was Fate of the Norns, I think called. I'd have to double check. I haven't started even advertising it yet. It'll be the very first time I actually advertise the channel.
I hope
Let
it's
me
not your personal. That'd be.
Let me double check it. So profile, it is called Fate of the Norns. So that is the name of the TikTok.
Awesome.
Yep. There are how many?
22 videos, I believe it looks like. Yeah.
11 videos.
11 videos. Yeah.
11 videos. So,
25 followers. That's good. You're
Alright,
coming on up there. Look at you.
oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh yeah, so we're gonna have to get around to it. But
The video's good, but that food looks disgusting. So Ken, I think I heard you talk about how much you enjoyed it when I popped on. So.
Yeah. What do you mean? What food did he show? Hold up.
It's your Calgary Con Victor dinner.
Oh, the ramen. Oh my god.
the
Let me tell
ramen.
you. Okay, so Ray, right? You met Ray before, so
Ray's great. I love Ray.
Yeah, he tried ramen for the first time, and we went for 3 days in a row.
Fell in love. He was an immediate convert. Absolutely.
Did you give him a hard time? Did you give him a hard time, Andrew? Because I know when I tried to go to a place 3 days in a row, he made a big fuss.
Oh,
Wait, when
I've shown the pictures of the place you wanted to go 3 days in a row to everyone, and everyone went, "What the hell is that heart attack on a plate?" Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So
we try,
delicious.
it's funny because we're trying to try out Ray too. I'm like, hey Ray, let's go for like Alberta's like barbecue because Alberta's got good barbecue. He's like, no, much rather have ramen. Like, all right, Ray, let's go for some ramen then.
I love it.
Hey, you know
So,
what though? Like that's what happens, right?
mhm.
When you get somebody who hasn't tried something before and then they get to try it, it becomes like because I lived 39 years of my life and I never tried Indian cuisine,
Oh,
Mm.
right? And I eat it like
every day now.
no, not every day. I probably cook it about once a month at the house, and then the wife and I go out about once a month as well.
I'm so
Is there a
proud of
good
you.
Indian restaurant near where you live?
So actually, so I live pretty close to a major university, a Michigan
Oh,
State University.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go Spartans.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I live pretty close to there, and they have a very large Asian immigrant population
Oh, yeah, yeah.
for the college,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, we have a lot. And I mean, I say a lot. I mean like a lot
Like a lot. Yeah, yeah.
of various Asian cuisines. We have. I could probably name like 7 Thai places.
Ooh.
We have like 2 Japanese steakhouses. We've got I don't know like there's like 7 Asian buffets in the area. Because
Yeah, of
that's
course.
always right. The Chinese food
Students,
buffet,
yeah.
right?
And the students love that.
We have. I haven't been downtown in East Lansing lately, but we used to have like 3 pho restaurants. We have I think 2 or 3 ramen places.
Ooh.
Actually, it might be even up to 4 now. We've got.
You can
I
broaden
want to
your horizons,
say.
Rich. I know
I
you
want to say
can.
we've got. I want to say we've got like 4 Indian places. Yeah, so I mean we've got, and it's not like it's a very large town.
No, no.
We're talking about a town that has a population of like 30,000 people when there's no students here. It's
Mm-hmm,
not like a very big place, and for us to
mm-hmm.
have that diverse and eclectic of a food thing, and I didn't even address any of the like Mediterranean food that we have as well. So, one thing that Lansing doesn't really have is a good Italian restaurant, which is really weird.
True, true,
Like
true.
we had one, well, we had 2 Italian places that were both kind of locally owned, and they were like old school Italians, but one of them closed down a little over a decade ago, and the other one actually just closed down a few months ago. The owners have been doing it for like 60 years, and they're retired. So
Mhm.
Oh, damn.
that place was the spot, man. Like it was so good. Yeah, you'd go in there and you'd get like a pound of pasta with like cheese baked on top and sauce, and then you get like a big like 6 ounce piece of veal on top, and it was like $13. And you're just
Yeah.
like, this is enough food for
American
like 2 or
portion.
3 days.
And when you've
Yeah,
got an
no,
old
it
couple
was
like that, that's like home cooked meals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. No, they won awards and stuff all the time. It was a great place, but
You didn't have
but
kids or
yeah,
anything like
so
that?
huh?
You didn't have kids to
No,
run the
I
family?
don't think they probably didn't want to,
Yeah.
because nobody wants to go into the family business anymore. Everybody wants
No.
to, everybody wants to do the
Be
cool thing and be
YouTubers.
a TikTok marketer, yeah, or be a personality, or
Mm-hmm.
they want to be an influencer,
Or start their own
stuff like that.
company, start their own role playing company or something like that.
Streamers, those
What a-
Yeah.
people. But yeah, but and that's cool, right? Everybody has a dream, and that's one of the cool things about obviously not American society specifically, but just kind of the way the world is going, right? People have that opportunity that they've never really had before.
Mm-hmm.
There are these small business or independent business opportunities that exist that haven't really been there before.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to be a streamer, that wasn't really a thing 100 years ago. If you wanted to be an influencer, that was a thing, right? You could just go out there and
Yeah.
influence those people, right? That's kind of always been a thing. But
Even 20 years ago, making YouTube videos you didn't make money. it's only the last decade or so you can start making money from YouTube. Back then, it
Yeah.
was not a thing. Streaming, that's only like last like 10 years as well. So that's just
Yeah.
a fairly recent market,
Well,
which
but even
anyone can
like,
start.
well, I mean, like even consider like Rick, right? Like
Hmm.
Tabletop Santa. I mean, the dude makes a pretty. Well, he would make a decent living if he was doing it by himself,
Yeah.
but he's actually just being super generous, and I mean, he's basically just like giving out, like I know what he charges, right? And it
Hmm.
borders from free to cheap,
Hmm.
for people to use his studio to do stuff that they want to do,
Hmm.
and with his facilities, he could be charging way more for that.
Hmm.
But there's these things that are available. You get companies like Makerspace where you could go and if you wanted to do like a home jewelry business, but maybe you don't have access to a forge for a couple pieces, you can rent a forge. There's places
Hmm.
that'll rent them out to you. It's just there's all these weird little things that you have access to in the world now that we've never really had good access to,
Hmm.
and it's just changed the game. Even
Yeah,
like I know Andrew does a lot of print on demand, right?
there was this
That's
crazy
revolutionized
video
the
that I
industry.
ended up seeing on I think it was Vice News way back 4 years ago. They were doing on these startups in Asia. And I think it was in China. I think it was in Hong Kong. They were really highlighting, and it was all these startups that were in one area of Hong Kong, and they basically had like a maker space mini city, and basically everyone had these little parts that they were specializing in, and you'd have engineers moving from like part of the city to part of the city, basically creating these mini computers, mini applications, mini businesses using all of these little components in this ecosystem. And this entire ecosystem allowed these businesses to flourish and build on top of each other and use each other's ideas to just catapult one another's businesses into the next level. And that was kind of incredible in terms of how anyone with an idea could just go, hey, I've got this little idea and you're building this, and I can integrate your idea into what I'm doing here. And a week later, they've got this like new product offering. And then someone else goes, well, your little product offering can just fit into what we're doing over here. And it was just like mind blowing in terms of how fast things were moving in the space because you
Yeah.
had so many brilliant ideas in this incubator of a city that had all of this technology that just moving so quickly, and
Yeah.
no one was worrying about intellectual property or patenting or anything that was just kind of slowing this down. It was all about just let's build something together, let's just keep moving innovation forward. And just my mind was just blown watching this, going like, oh my god, where are we going to
Right.
be 10 years from now if this model gets scaled to other cities?
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's what is that? It's just an uninhibited think tank, right?
Yeah.
It's effectively a work co-op.
Hmm.
Where people get together and they can just do things, and honestly, that to me is also one of the better forms of housing is co-ops.
Hmm.
I had an opportunity. I lived in one when I was younger, back in my college years. I stayed in a co-op for a while. I stayed in two actually. One of them was actually one that I lived in, and one of them was I was kind of squatting in there because the girl I was dating lived there. Uh, and I was homeless kind of at the time, so I just kind of moved in. And but I started doing my fair share, so nobody really cared. They were like, "Whatever, man, screw it. He's doing chores. Like, let him stay." But yeah, same thing, right? When you can get a community of people that are all contributing to each other, it's so great. And and to bring this back to gaming, obviously, that's what the gaming industry is. There's a lot of people in the gaming industry that, and not everybody, right? There's obviously people that want to be successful all by their onesie, but there's people that are out there trying to collaborate, trying to, you know, like the fireside chat, right? You're trying to get other people to come on here, and it's a signal boost for both of you. Obviously, it's, you know, is it selfish of you to bring people on here to try to boost your business? 100%, absolutely. Is that okay? 100%, absolutely, right? But at the same time, they get the signal boost too, right? It's not like you're hiding it and doing your own weird release schedule. You're like, hey guys, full disclosure, this is when we're going to be. This is where our live stream is. You can have your people come and watch you. We're going to talk about your brand. We're going to put links to your thing, right? Like, and assuming that a guest on your podcast or on this fireside chat if they're doing their thing, they're signal boosting for you as well. Hey guys, I'm going to be on such and such podcast next Tuesday. Come check it out. But even if they don't, it's good for everybody.
What
Working with other authors and stuff. It's perfect. It's wonderful, and that's my favorite thing about the industry.
one of the conventions that's missing now talking about this is Metatopia. Shout out to
Yep.
Avi. Metatopia is one of those conventions that brings all the designers together, where everyone brings their in design prototype games to the show, and it's all just basically game designers that show up, and we test each other's games, and it's just really like you can feel the emotion and the care that people give in terms of the feedback, because after the game's over you can see people just take the form. There's forms that are handed out too, like in terms of like feedback. Some people are like, I really want to just ruminate about the game that I just played. Game, I'm going to bring back this form in about an hour, and people like will walk away and really think deeply about the experience they had about your game. They'll come back and give you like really really in-depth feedback in terms of their experience on their options in your game, about the rules that you had in terms of how you can maybe split up your game, different games, or rules optimizations, and without any kind of ego or anything like that. That's one of those places where you can really feel blessed in this, in terms of going, my God, this is such a nice place, because there's so many kind people in terms of we all want to see each other. Metatopia is one of can't wait for the highlight of the see what everyone's up to.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think I'm gonna pop off here. I just kind of wanted to do the Viking thing and rate your stream for a minute. I clogged on to tune in and see what you guys are doing, and there's only two of you. I might as well invade for a few minutes. But,
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for popping in.
oh
Yeah,
man, it's been
Ray
an
had
absolute
to
blessing.
Ray had to put his little girl down, so he didn't know how long it would. So we'll probably do another one with him for a full Calgary debrief,
Okay.
probably on another night. So tune in for that one.
Absolutely, man. I'd love to get a chance to holler at Ray for a minute. All right, guys, take care.
All right,
Okay, bye.
night.
So yeah, we were talking about conventions a second. Have you heard any information from anybody who went to PAX East? See how it was or anything like that?
So I
Just
had
to
a
see.
quick note from Jason Anarchy from Anarchy Games.
Mm-hmm.
Said it was fun as always.
Yeah.
He enjoyed himself there. He didn't mention anything else in terms of being like, off year for him. But I did see that there was like one of those like much more sparse shows, like
Mm-hmm.
photos. The
Mm-hmm.
show floor looked very very bare from when we were.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of scrolling through Axis. But I didn't hear from anyone else because I know a couple of other of my peers that didn't go to PAX.
I'm
So
curious. I'm curious to see like how it was just in general in the exhibitor halls. It was like more space for people to walk because there was less exhibitors and stuff like that. Like which companies didn't show up, stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't really have much friends that went as well, so I don't really have too much information. But I'm curious to ask around to see how it was, just to see if we can get a quick comparison. But I think we will be going back next year, hopefully for PAX East, and I know PAX Prime or PAX West is coming soon, so
that'll
we
be
should.
Liberty weekend, right?
I don't know if that's confirmed, but it usually is. Let's see what's.
It falls on Labor Day. I'll see
Yeah,
do some panels there. The Calgary panel was fun. That's
yeah,
another
yeah.
one of the
I sent you
highlights. Show.
the Google Doc. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, you sent me a couple of short videos. I'll post those as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
Well, those are all the short videos that you can make into like a shorter, like a little video. September 3rd to 6th. So I think it is indeed Labor Day weekend. Yes. So.
those that are curious, I put on usually at shows some
Mm-hmm.
panels on Viking pop culture and Vikings in pop culture, or Norse mythology and pop culture. That's one of the panels that I put on. Then I do crowdfunding or like a GM masterclass or self-publishing. And there's another one that I was asked at Calgary Expo if I'm going to do one on Celtic myth. So that's one that I'm going to be working on. to put together. So I'll probably add that to the of. But for the their shows this year, Montreal Comic Con, I've got panels already confirmed, possibly. So we'll see there. Origins is coming up next month, so that's in a month from now.
Idaho, right? The one in Idaho.
We have Idaho at the beginning of July, and then.
Do you have anything else in the June? No, that's the only one in June, right? The one.
June we have Origins.
Yeah.
Start of July we have Idaho. Mid July we have Breakout, and end of July, start of August we.
Where's Breakout?
Breakout's in Toronto.
Toronto, okay.
Yeah.
That's and then Gen Con is August, and then September is when you might be
PAX
doing
West.
that. PAX West, and then September, October, you might be doing that Ireland thing.
Yes.
Right. Correct.
Yep.
And potentially also
Germany, Spiel.
Germany, yeah, Spiel.
And
Germany. Then
coming
back for PAX Unplugged, right? Unless I forgot something.
Before
maybe
PAX
Vancouver.
Unplugged. No, before PAX Unplugged, there's going to be maybe. There's Metatopia in the fall that we just talked about. There's Carnage.
There Carnage. Yeah.
Is Gamehole Con.
Yep, Gamehole Con.
And then there's PAX Unplugged. There's quite a bit in the fall, like right before Christmas. There's going to be like. This year we're making up for Shuttered in 2 years. When watching, there's going to be a busy to see the Viking booth in the flesh.
Carnage is on November 4th to 6th.
I don't think there's any other con.
No.
So I think we can make our return to Carnage after how many years of absence?
It's been like 5 years now, almost. I feel like.
East.
Let's see how far it is from where we are.
It's directions. Now in southern Vermont, I believe.
It's in Mount Snow in Dover, Vermont. It is a 4-hour drive for us now. Dang, we went from driving only a couple hours to a little bit.
2 hours, 3 hours.
It's in New Hampshire, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it used to be like in mid-northern Vermont.
Yeah.
Further and further south.
Which I guess is fair, you know. It says, okay, maybe it's the wrong one. It says Vermont, unless we're looking at the wrong. Oh, it is Vermont. Okay, I guess it's just borderline to New Hampshire. But yeah, it's a 4-hour drive now. I was looking forward to those close drives, you know.
Well, come on, PAX Unplugged is much further than that.
No, yeah, that's the longest one that we do in PAX. I know you do. You do.
We did Gen Con.
Gen
we did
Con.
Dragon Con in the previous years.
Yeah.
I don't think we're doing Dragon Con again.
I'm curious to see how it is. Mount Snow is cashless. Wow.
What was that?
Yeah, we definitely should. I'm just reading. It says Mount Snow is cashless. I'm curious to see about like the hotel and stuff like that. Like, is it a resort? What is it like?
It used to be a resort, right? That was the nice part. It was always a resort. Even before Killington, it was a resort. That was the nice thing with Carnage always.
Yeah, this is a Grand Summit Resort, so that's cool. The Grand Mount. Let's see if we open this up.
I like that feeling. That's why GaryCon. A vacation, not a convention.
Let's see how.
What's your favorite convention? You guys go out for gaming. Whether it's your local con or another convention.
Yep, there's. It's good to see that they have place. They have a nice pool and everything, so that's gonna be. That's the one thing I missed and everything. So should be.
Well, GaryCon's got a nice pool and hot tub.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to GaryCon. You know what I mean? So I would love to. Maybe in the future. But yeah, I mean, convention-wise, that's everything we have. Speaking of convention in Metatopia, we are going to quickly talk about some of the stuff that we want to bring to works before we get onto the end of this. It's been almost an hour, so
yep.
I think we got two things that we kind of want to put in, and we're not sure exactly which one. We have the board game, which is Chronicle of Kings, and the card game, which is Vigrid. So both are actually being in the works. I feel like both of them are equally on pace.
I actually have the board for Chronicle of Kings right here next to me. So let me see if I can pull that out for the first time I have it out.
And for those wondering why we don't release both at the same time, is just the fact that we like kickstarting, and we don't want to kickstart a project when we haven't fulfilled a project. So we are waiting to finish the fulfillment of the what's it called again? The giant. Ooh, Chronicle King. That's sick. It's obviously going to be a little bit smaller than that. We try to make it fit, but that's a beautiful
Big
mat.
board.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
So
yeah,
this
like
is
we
the
said,
test
right?
board.
Yeah, right now we're still fulfilling the Kickstarter. The what was it called? The anthropology or anthology or
Ultimate Viking Anthology.
yeah. So that one's being fulfilled. We're getting those out whenever that's done
So
fulfilling.
the novels should be coming out this month. So
Mhm.
for sure the PDFs are coming out this month. They're going to go to the printer this month. Printers are fast. We're going to get the print proofs this month, if not latest next month. The graphic novels, the writing is all done. It's all in the artist's hands right now. So the artists are hammering out the last. One of them is 60% done. The other one is 75% done. So we're in the home stretch for those. And the Athgliath box set RPG in the final stretch of writing. We're still in the writing and designing phase, so we're still going to have to go through editing and layout. So we're still got some work to do, but we see the finish line in terms of the.
We're hoping to get this all out by late summer, early fall.
It's got to be done by summer.
Yeah.
For the RPG, and the starter, which we've got
probably the Chronicle King, right?
We've got the board game. We've got the collectible card game, which has got a computer component, software component to it, which we just hit our first milestone this month. So I've got screenshots of. I'll probably end up posting on the Patreon again. Is our card creator. So I can finally now create digital cards. I've got the card editor screens working. So we don't have the playing yet. I've got a lobby where players can create accounts. They can log in. They can chat with one another. So with the client and server working, they can create games. They can select like what their settings are for games. They can launch a game, but there's no logic in terms of like playing a game yet with one another. And then there's an admin console where we create cards. So that's where we're at right now with the software. So that's a pretty good milestone for April, considering we started development in February.
Yeah, and this is going to be electronic first, right?
Yeah.
We obviously want to do physical as well. So I feel like this one is not our priority when it comes to kickstarting, since it's, I think getting the board game out as a Kickstarter first would be great, considering it's a lot of, manual stuff, and we can still beta test this card game and stuff like that. But that sounds absolutely exciting, to be honest.
Well, the board game is, I'm pulling this out. That's why it's on my table here, is we're going to actually be playing it at Abyss on Saturday night. So
nice.
We're going to start the public games again in person this week.
Yeah, a little more beta testing. I mean, you've tested it quite a bit prior to the pandemic. You went to Metatopia. We've tested it with a few people. Vigrid as well, but with Vigrid being on computer and stuff like that, it'd be a lot easier to test with multiple people.
That's my goal, is to finish the final testing and design online for Vigrid. Then for Heimskringla, Chronicle of Kings, I can analog.
I'm just excited to be able to sell some Chronicle of Kings. That's going to be so fun to have onto the list of stuff that we already have. That's wonderful. The artwork as well as the figures. Actually, you showed me the figures. That's going to be part of it. I don't know if you're changing
figures,
those or not.
I don't have those handy right now, but for the next stream. So these were really cool figurines that I am a wood carver in Belarus. Really talented wood carver, because I wanted them ancient chess pieces of like gods, and so we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the game.
Yeah, we'll do that another time.
Once I go down the rabbit hole, that'll be another 40 minutes.
Yeah, because we're gonna do molds with those, so that's gonna be sick. And then I'm excited. We're just gonna need a little more space at our convention, because we're already running out of space right now. Like for all the stuff that we have.
Now we're always a corner booth, right? I mean, we need 2 tables minimum for everything.
Yeah, except for Calgary, we didn't. We were unlucky and we didn't have enough stock to bring, so we ended up with only a table basically. Obviously, would have been nice to have extra, but it is unfortunate, with the supply chain block, and in the world we have a lot of issues causing a lot of delay. So unfortunately. And a lot of people actually wanted to buy a lot more stuff from us, but we just didn't have the stock in. So
we got the code in, which was nice. We did a Calgary 20 code right after the panel. So after I usually run a panel, there's tons of people down to the booth with lots of inquiries in terms of, tell us more about this ETA. Show us the ETA you talked about. And we were like, we started on the first day of this.
Yeah.
So there's a little idea of, well, you can go to our website, created this Calgary 20 code just for that day, where the people can log in and get the books online after the panel, and that worked out.
Yeah,
there were some happy people. That worked out. To do that,
all right.
when we run out, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think having a tablet there to make it and I don't know if you can do it for specific items, but I still think if you do it like con wide, 20% off. If we run out, we just do it on the last day and stuff like that. Because you don't want people to buy stuff that we have online, but they rather buy it, online in person. Because they're like, oh, we can save a little bit more money here, but it's just the shipping, right? The shipping is the important part. They're saving on the shipping and everything like that. So that's pretty good. All right, so that's gonna be it. We're going towards our hour mark. That was our quick little random. It was good. We got Rich to come in to talk
episode
a little bit.
50.
Let's go. I would have loved to have more people for episode 50. I feel like we didn't realize it was 50, so we're like, oh,
it kind of snuck up on us.
Yeah.
We
50
were just
episodes
away, and I can't believe 50 Fireside chats. That's crazy.
That's a lot. Now we just gotta get that on YouTube.
Oh boy, we're behind. I think we only have 24 episodes up on Fireside Chat up on YouTube.
It's tough though. It's tough. It's understandable. Takes a lot of time to edit. But if you guys enjoyed, like, share, subscribe. We'll make sure to follow if you haven't. If this is on YouTube, we are down on Faded Norns for Twitch, where we stream this quite often. Hopefully we get back into rhythm now, but we were on a convention, a little grind, and but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys later. Skål!